In this lame duck session, Congress is trying to create media cartels by law so that they can extract payments from big tech. Let's start off at Breitbart. Media cartel bill, a boon for media conglomerates like News Corp. So, scrolling down here, what are they talking about? We're talking about the Journalism Competition and Preservation Act. First off, we all know over the last 10, 15, 20 years that any title of legislation has nothing to do with what it actually is gonna do. Like the Inflation Act actually caused more for you get the idea. So when they say the Journalism Competition and Preservation Act, it's probably more like the Journalism Anti-Competition and Anti-Preservation Act. You know where this is going, of course. So what is it? It would create, we've tried to highlight it here, the print is small, an antitrust exemption for the news media and broadcast industries, allowing them to form a media cartel to negotiate with big tech for advertising revenue. In other words, we're going to create by law a kind of semi-cartel so that they can extract because they need the money. That's why they need the money. With the poor media outlets, they don't have any money. I don't know, try making a product that people want. Maybe that will make you some money. Interesting idea, huh? Where have I heard this before? Oh, that's right, Europe. Before the pandemic. I know that was a long time ago, but back in 2019, remember the link tax? Yes, you vaguely might remember that. It was a while ago, but 2018, 2019, YouTube came out heavy against this. They basically passed this thing in Europe that forces big tech, like say Facebook. I love this graphic put up here by Company Debt. I don't know where they got this graphic, but I'm going to borrow it for this video, where it basically forces big tech to pay media conglomerates for the creation of, say, like news content. What will Facebook look like after Article 11? Your previews won't show unless you upgrade to premium. Pay $8. Because Facebook is going to have to kick back to the media conglomerates. It's not good enough that they're sending traffic that way. No, they compel a payment effectively. This is done through a piece of copyright law. It's technically not a tax. Okay, sure it's not, but it's effectively a tax. You remember the old, if it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck, it's a duck. So using a different justification or a different strategy, it's effectively the same thing here in the United States. A way for big tech to be compelled to pay media outlets. Oh, Jack, why don't they just create great content and have people pay them that way? Because, I mean, there's a lot of media outlets that are doing well. I'm actually going to say something nice about the Boston Globe here. Boston Globe is a very fine example of how to get customers to pay for your written product in the 2022 internet world. They've done very, very well on subscription plans. They've done very well. How about you just compete? That's an idea. No, we don't want to compete. No. How about the government make us a cartel? Oh, that's much better. So the best description that I can find of the Journalism Competition and Preservation Act was written here by Joshua Levine. I hope I don't have to pay you, Joshua, a compelled payment for citing your article at the American Action Forum, but you did a really good job here, and I thought I highlighted the key section here. You should scroll down here at the American Action Forum to read the entire piece. Maybe I'll post it in the link in below, but here it is. Great job, Joshua. The key component of the bill is an 8-year exception for eligible digital journalism providers. In other words, the winners that the government picks. The government is going to pick certain people or entities, big companies, NBC News, Fox News, all of those big people or entities, companies, they're going to be picked as winners. And they're going to be able to collectively bargain, which they wouldn't otherwise do because that would be an antitrust violation, with the covered platforms, Google, Facebook, Twitter, to set prices, violations of one of the most basic market competition policies. Right. Good job. Again, this guy, Joshua Levine. Excellent. Right. This is the best one paragraph write up of this thing on the internet. The bill sponsors argue that this is necessary for companies to be fairly compensated by platforms that host or link to their content. You know what? You don't have any right. Nobody owes you anything. You have no right if somebody links if you put your piece of content out on the internet and someone links a snippet of it back to your website, you have no right to get paid for that. If you want to put it behind a paywall to begin with, then go right ahead so no one can share it on the internet. But if you put it out there, it's shareable, right? It's shareable. You have a choice. You can put it behind, if you want to have a Substack and put a wall up against it, you can. You can, even as the smallest writer, you can do that. And of course, NBC, CBS, they could do it, but they don't want to because they want the traffic. They want the best of all worlds, which is what monopolies and cartels deliver, which is the traffic and the money. And if they can't get the money, they're going to get the government to help them get it. Specifically, the bill would allow eligible digital platform journalism providers to negotiate terms that allocate a larger percentage of ad revenue to themselves and grant more control over their content. The agreement would exempt companies from prohibitions on price fixing on competitors, which is per se illegal under the Sherman Antitrust Act, as we covered. The JCPA would allow these anti-competitive practices by traditional media because the drafters argue, this is very important, they are struggling to compete in a new market environment. Oh, struggling. And that is more diverse and competitive than the pre-internet age. Oh, that's just too bad for them. As a result, the JCPA would allow these firms to collect more revenue from digital platforms rather than address difficult questions regarding how consumers find and share information online. In other words, rather than ask themselves, hey, why aren't I making any money? How do I get people to give me money for the value I create? No. Let's just get a government to pick me as a winner and therefore I'll get paid. Oh, perfect. I love a monopoly. No, I hate monopolies, but these people love monopolies. You know, I can think of a lot of new media outlets that have figured out a way to compete in the marketplace in 2022 there's been a whole massive transition. I just said the Boston Globe has done pretty good at this. In terms of getting subscribers, there have been a lot of independent journalism. They probably won't be part of the winners, right? They're not going to be picked as winners. There's been a lot of independent journalists, Substack contributors, lots of great ones over there. There's been a lot of people, big and small, who have figured out how to get paid in this environment. How about we let them compete against the old school big companies, Fox News, NBC News, CBS, and see how it works out, rather than have the government pick who wins and loses. I'd rather see how it works out. I think if we allow the marketplace to decide who gets rewarded, then consumers will win in the end as well. Hey, from the home office in Plymouth, America's hometown in Massachusetts, I'm John F. Gately. You can call me Jack. Have a great day. Bye-bye.